You're listening to The Broken Meeple Show, a podcast that speaks passionately about board games for the benefit of those who play them. My name's Luke Hector, best known for the Broken Meeple YouTube channel, and I'm an everyday gamer just like you. And I'll be talking about reviews, top 10s, and just about anything that connects me to board games, as long as I have a tea or coffee in hand, that is. So grab a cup, relax, and enjoy. And remember, it's only a game. Hey everyone, this is Luke from The Broken Meeple and another podcast episode. Yes, I've got some interesting stuff for you today, but it's not going to be the longest episode, I hope, mainly because I am so tired. So absolutely tired. I have been recording non-stop practically, apart from a friend's barbecue to go to, and, you know, certainly a few drinks, but I've been doing a lot of recording lately. I mean, tons. And you've got some good content to look forward to on the channel. Believe me, you're going to have some nice stuff coming. Today's episode, I have got my coffee. Got my coffee, some more decaf. Although, this one's a bit of a weird one because it's from my usual, I think it's like Origin Coffee or whatever that I get a subscription to. But they didn't write down what type of coffee it was on the bag. It just said Swiss water decaf. It's like, well, that means for all I know, this is arsenic coffee. I have no idea what's in it. I just know that it's decaf coffee. I drink it. I like it. Yeah, I know. Some of you don't like decaf, but I need to keep my caffeine down. So, lally. So it does me just fine. But yeah, I've been pretty hard at work. The last few days have been just lots of stuff to review, lots of stuff to record, but lots of goodies. Lots of goodies in the post and lots of stuff that I need to get played. So before I get into the main crux of this episode, let me show you the kind of things that I've actually got. So let's change the screen here a bit so I can just literally use my, let's say, large cam. Is there a large cam one? No, there isn't. Oh, well, you just have to do with it. But yes, so all the things I've got. Well, as I mentioned, I already had Detective Season 1, so this is now reviewed, and a review of that is going to come on the 1st of September as promised, because I wanted to get it done literally for the time when the embargo lifts, because it's getting released later in September, so you've got a full review for that one coming. I recently got Imperial Settlers Rise of the Empire. Now, will I get time to review it? I don't know. This one I just purchased out of my own pocket, and I just, hopefully I'll get a chance to, really give it the beans and give it a review, but it might be a while, so don't expect this one to be anytime right soon, but I'm looking forward to getting my Imperial Settlers off the shelf and, getting that expanded with it. You'll also see a review coming out very soon, probably shortly after Detective Season 1, of Small World of Warcraft. So I have got the newest version from Days of Wonder. This is basically Small World with the World of Warcraft theme semi-pasted on it. It does work in some respects, and probably it's a bit more applicable to this whole small world format than anything else, but it's still, what you kind of remember from Small World, but it's got a few little nice extras in it, a team mode and some relics and stuff you can grab. So there's a few little neat tweaks, and you'll be getting a review of that very soon, because I think it's only just releasing this week, so I kind of want to get the review out in time for you guys before you start rushing for it. And also, I have not done any recordings for this one, but I have managed to give enough plays to Alabari and Nice Cup of Tea. So this one has been getting played at my club lately, and, I've been enjoying it. I've got some thoughts on it. I think I probably just need to give the solo mode a few plays, and then I should be ready to give this one a review. But again, don't rush for this one because it's been out for a while. I had this before lockdown, and lockdown basically put paid to any chance I had to play it other than solo. So it's got, right, okay, I think I'll leave it in the shrink wrap for a bit. But I finally got it out, finally started playing it, and I suppose semi-spoiler alert, I do enjoy it. I think it's pretty decent. I don't think it's the, bee's knees, and I wasn't the biggest, Snowdonia fanboy either. But, I think this is pretty good, and I'll still hang on to it for a bit. So we'll see how I feel after a few solo plays. Maybe the solo play will, make it even better for me, shall we say. But, the big one. The big one. Oh, look at this. This is going to be hard to lift. Oh, my word. Too Many Bones. Yes, Chip Theory Games have finally sent me Too Many Bones. After constantly saying that I have yet to play this game, that I've wanted to try it, see what it's like, finally I have a copy of it. And not just Too Many Bones, I've also got, they sent me a leather dice tray, which I didn't desperately need, but it was nice. and also a couple of gear locks, extra characters from a choice. So I chose Gilly and Nugget, and I've got these. I have no idea how to play this game at all I have done is watch reviews, which all basically say the same thing. They all seem to love the game, but they think it has too many rules, a lot of text to read, but they love the enjoyment of the dice and the game itself, but it's got a steep learning curve, so we'll find out. But hopefully today, if not tomorrow, I will be digging this out. I've already unboxed it, I've unwrapped it and all that, and I should be giving it a proper, going over, really learn the system, really give it a go. I'm looking forward to it. It's been, what was it, number 2 on my top 10 games that escaped me list, so finally it's not escaped me now. It's a case of, is it as good as I hoped it would be? We'll find out, I guess. What else? In terms of other content, you will also be pleased to know that I have finally started on the top 100. Yes, the top 100 list has been compiled. It is finished. It is put into my spreadsheet. Statistics are done for it. I know what games have fallen on and off. I know who my favorite. I know who the most popular designer is on there. I know who the most popular publisher is on there, etc. So I've got a full list. And I have also recorded the first 10, so 100 through to 91. So I did a poll as to what format people wanted it, and sadly, annoyingly, from my perspective, everybody, the majority, at least half the votes, voted for 10 videos with editing effects. Now, I'm slightly skimping on that a bit. I will do 10 videos, but they're not all going to have full-on effects. I mean, I'm going to have to try and get through these reasonably quick, so I will talk about them, I will give overviews of the video as normal, but don't expect a million effects, apart from maybe 1 or 2 where I just think, oh, there's a good joke that could work there, or, it needs a bit more. But I'm going to try and make them shorter videos, because I think they used to be something like half an hour each, or nearly 3/4 of an hour each for some of them, and it's just well, I can't do 10 videos of that and edit them. It would just be a nightmare. So hopefully my new format of doing things where I jump cut and, try and make my passages more sincere, a bit more succinct, especially my new editing style where it's a bit of a behind the scenes view. Basically what I do is a little technique where I record the sentence I'm doing. I mean, I don't script anything. I still don't script. I have bullet point notes, but that's it. But what I do is that I talk, and then I finish, and then if I'm happy with the sentence or paragraph that I've just pretty much said, I'll carry on, and I will clap 3 times to show on the editing software where I want to cut the footage. If I don't like what I've just said, I feel it can be improved, or I mess up, or I get a blunder, then I just continue saying it again. I leave a gap and I just say it again. The idea being that as I'm cutting the footage, I look for where I've done the 3 claps and I go, that's the bit I want to keep. That's the segment I want to keep from my footage. And then it makes it a little bit easier to cut and paste all the footage that I do, because you might record 3/4 of an hour to an hour worth of footage, but still only use 20 minutes of it. It's just good to at least have a half decent cut at the end of the day. But yep, the first 10 have been done. I will continue updating those, and throughout September, I will start getting those out. But there's a treat. At least the last 2, maybe the last 3 or 4, I don't know. We'll see what you guys think. But definitely at least the top 20 will be split into 2 videos. Top 10, top 20, 20 through 11 and 10 through 1, live stream. Yes, I will be doing probably 100 through to 21 as normal videos. Possibly I'll do a live stream for 30 to 21, I don't know. Do you want me to do live stream for 50 through to 10? I mean, that seems a little bit overkill, but we'll see. But I'm definitely going to do live stream for at least the last 2. So you will get to join me on those. You'll get to guess what games are there as I explain them. You'll get to give your thoughts. I'll interact with you. You can tell me what you think about the games. You can try and guess what my positions are. You should be a bit more involved in my top 100 this year. So hopefully you people will enjoy that. What else have I done? I know there's other video content I've done. No, I can't think of anything specific. Oh, except for one thing. I'm going to release it today along with this podcast if I can get it edited. And that is a solo play. I've done a solo play. You'll notice if you've been watching my channel, you can check out the folded space video I did where I used an overhead camera from my smartphone and recorded the audio off that. It was good, but there was a slight problem. Doing the video at night meant I had to really sort out the lighting. It was a bit dark. So I've tried one during the day this morning. But the other thing was that the audio from the smartphone is more sensitive, so it picks up a lot of the outside noise as well out through the window, and that can be problematic. So 2 videos were done by that. 2 of them, I used my DSLR. In fact, can I reach it here? Come on, come here. Come here, you thing. Yeah, so I've got a tripod, small tripod like this, and the DSLR is mounted to it. And basically, it can stand on my gaming table quite nicely, and I can, shift the legs. I can, maneuver it like that. And basically, this allows me to do a frontal view of my face while I'm doing playthroughs or the folded space stuff. So I've tried this for the last 2 of them, because last time I tried to use the webcam with the laptop, but the mobile phone was picking up the fan noise because this is a very loud laptop. It's a bit of a problem. But then I tried using this, which means the shotgun mic is a backup audio source. So if I find that the audio from the speakerphone and my phone is not good enough, then I can use this instead. And that kind of works so far. Or put it down. There we go. Nice big heavy piece. But yeah. But what have I done? What are you on about solo play, Luke? I've done a solo play. Yes, I think I might have found a way to do solo plays. That same setup I just mentioned worked for a solo play that I did this morning, because any MCU fan would have heard in the news, or anybody would have heard in the news really, because it's quite a big deal, that Chadwick Boseman, the guy who played Black Panther in the MCU movies, sadly passed away recently with losing the battle to colon cancer, age 43. I'm literally 6 and a bit years younger than him. That's puts your life in perspective. But it's a sad loss, but what I did is that I tried to commemorate his, wait a minute. No, I didn't record it this morning. No, yesterday morning I did it. And what I tried to do was do my first solo play of Marvel Champions. In fact, it's still set up on the table there from yesterday. And I take Black Panther solo against Ultron. And I managed to, spoiler alert. All right, spoiler alert, I won, okay? I won the game, but it was sort of down to the wire. I mean, it was close to being like, oh, I could be in trouble here. But it was a good, fun battle. Did I get a rule or 2 wrong? Who knows? You feel free to watch the video when it goes up, give your thoughts and respects to Chad, and see what I did. I mean, maybe I got a rule or 2 wrong, who knows? But at the end of the day, I enjoy it for fun. So I'm not trying to be like the expert at the game, and certainly from a tactical standpoint, I'm not an expert at this game, and I'm sure a lot of you Marvel Champion experts will correct me on my tactical abilities or lack thereof. But yeah, that video should go up today as well, because I want to get that out nice and soon. Yeah, there's quite a bit of content coming. I mean, all those reviews coming. Obviously, I want to do more. I've got to keep this podcast going. Obviously, the top 100 is a big deal. Obviously, the movers and the shakers, that Citadel's one I did was very popular with you guys. You enjoyed that, so that will continue as a series. The folded space, I've obviously got to do 3 more of those editing wise. There's a lot to do, and I got to be careful that I don't hit burnout. I'm a little bit tired, but bank holiday weekend should help a bit with that, because I've got a bit of time today and a bit of time tomorrow to do a lot of editing. So, because a lot of these reviews need to come out soon, I mean, Small World of Warcraft needs to come out very soon. Detective Season 1 must come out on the 1st, otherwise I'm going to miss the pinnacle period of it coming out. But then obviously people want to know about Pendulum. Oh yeah, that was the other one. Yeah, I've done a video review for Pendulum, so I need to get that out at some point soon. There's a lot of games I've reviewed. It's a tiring process, and my voice is keeping so much, hence I don't want this podcast to be too long, but we're already up to 13 minutes, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so good stuff to come. So what's the deal with this episode? Well, first off, I want to give a little review, because I'm not going to do a video for these. I'm going to literally just do talk about it now, of Deckscape. So this is, these are 2, Deckscape is a type of escape room game. So with this one, you essentially have a small deck, and I've got the deck here, for the other one that I've got. So Heist in Venice and Mystery of El Dorado. This basically has you going through a deck of cards as an escape room style game. So the deal with, solve puzzles and riddles, and sadly you don't get much in the way of pictures on Board Game Geek for this, but it's essentially start at the start of the top card, work your way through. The game instructs you on how you go through the cards, what decks to separate out, what items you can get, gives you the puzzles, you can get little items to help, and you basically just follow the game through until you reach its conclusion, depending on how long that takes you. I've played both of these, and basically what they are is that they're very portable, as you can see, very portable indeed. and they take about an hour a piece. That's roughly the time you're spending, about an hour, maybe even less if you're doing it solo, but yeah, they don't take too long. It can go from 1 to 6 players, but 1 to 6 players you don't really need to do. I mean, this one is literally a case of, do I really need that many players? No, I mean, 2 or 3 of you I think could have a good time with this, but I think 4 to 6 is just way too much. I can't see this being one that I would have 4 to 6 people get around just to look at a few cards, because it's not like you get a lot in here. I mean, look at it. It's pretty small. It's a pretty small box. But I played both, and I gotta say, they're fine, but I think I'm the wrong audience for it, because I do like escape rooms. I do like escape room games, but most of my decent escape room games I've liked have been, I like the exit games. They're quite challenging, and, 10 quid, chuck them away, they're good. I liked Unlock for a bit. I haven't played any Unlocks recently, but I did play, I think, like the first 4 sets of it. And recently, if you check out my review, I did the Escape Tales, The Awakening. And I think those are very good. That one and the, what do you call it? It's a futuristic-y one or something. But, those 2 are pretty cool. And they got a bit more story. The Awakening is very dark and gritty. Multiple endings, dark endings. And the puzzles were the right level. So far, Escape Tales has been my favorite of the set. This one is okay. I mean, I gave Heist in Venice about a 6. El Dorado I only gave a 5 out of 10. I think they're average and above average, but I don't think they're amazing, because I even played the first Deckscape, Test of Time or whatever it's called, and I thought that was about a 6. They don't whammy, because the problem I have with them is that the puzzles just range from Dumb and Dumber to what on earth. You do get some puzzles that are just a bit like weird in there, but you get, like, you might have a puzzle that's like, right, fold this over and you can see, and you can follow the maze, and you can pinpoint this and turn this on its axes, and you'll find it's like, whoa, it's like quite a bit in there. But then you also get cards that show up and it says, which one of these things should you cross? Bridge A or Bridge B? Eh? And literally you just look at the picture and just go, well, that one clearly, because look at it. It's, it's almost like, seriously, don't insult our intelligence. We can do these little ones. And it's not like you had to think hard. I mean, it shows you in the picture which one to do. It's just an observation puzzle. And it's like, well, I don't want to just have easy observation puzzles. I want proper escape room style puzzles. Give me what the exit games do. And then on top of that, it tries to have a story, but the stories just aren't that interesting in these. I mean, El Dorado is literally, you go exploring, and you're trying to find treasures in some tomb or whatever. I think your plane gets shot down, and you're trying to make your way through the wilderness, get to the temple, get the stuff inside it, and obviously there's puzzles and tribesmen and stuff you got to deal with. It's an okay story, but it's not exactly that particularly interesting. It's basically just your Indiana Jones / Tomb Raider one. And I found some of the puzzles in here were just a little bit odd, especially, like I say, some of those, like, how dumb do you think I am type puzzles. So I was a little bit like, not as big a fan. And then you get to certain puzzles near the end, and it's just like, how are you supposed to work that out? I don't know. But then Heist in Venice was a little bit better, because this one basically had you unwillingly doing a big heist. And it gets you into the heist, it gets you into a casino, you've got to do things, win on tables, solve these other puzzles, get to the vault, do this, get out of the building, and there's some cool puzzles in this one. I thought Heist in Venice was a better one for puzzles, even though it still had 1 or 2 of these ones where it's like, this isn't a puzzle. Like, I mean, I don't want to spoil too much, but there's one where pretty much you just have to count lines. Really? That's not a hard thing to do, just to count lines. How's that a puzzle? So it really was a little bit like, in places. But the other thing with Heist I didn't like, and this was, I mean, I think the puzzles and the story is better in Heist, hence I give that one a 6. But one thing that really nearly hurt it back down to a 5 was there's a memory aspect to it. You read this plan before you go in for the heist, and it's got a bunch of clues that are useful to you and, things that you can do. But the problem is that you have to remember this by yourself on a solo play. Because the idea is that if you remember that the plan says this, you'll know how to do this puzzle later, or you'll know that this is relevant. That's fine when you got 6 of you remembering it, because you can all remember different aspects. Try and remember it by yourself with your own one brain. Have fun with that. You need a collective memory, a photographic memory, to be able to remember this entire plan all the way through for all the clues that are on it. So basically, the game is hurting you for playing this solo as opposed to mass players, which is a little bit cheeky in my book. But you get hints for a lot of the cards. I mean, you can use as many clues as you like. They're basically mirror reversed. You can choose not to have the clues if you want a harder game. Personally, I think if you get stuck, use a clue. But to be honest, some of the clues are kind of obvious anyway. It's like, look at the whatever on the side of the card. It's like, oh, duh, you think. Yeah, I know that, but what do I do with it? So there's a few bits like that. But all in all, these are fine. They're cheap, they're portable. But what I think these are best for is the younger audience, or very new people to escape room games. If you've never played an escape room game before, or you've got kids that you want to include in it, like younger players who I want to get you into some puzzles, then these can be good. I recommend Deckscape for those sort of purposes, and maybe then once they're comfortable with those, progress them up to something like Unlock, Exit, and the Escape Tales ones. But for me, I just found that they weren't that complex, they weren't that difficult. I mean, one or two puzzles were a little bit like, ooh, yeah, that takes a bit more thinking, but even then, not to a drastic extent. I'm done within the hour, in much shorter time even, and that's me going at a slowish pace. So they're fine, but I think they're more entry level. I think they're better for younger people, maybe families to do escape rooms, or to take on holiday with you, because you can literally just play it. And obviously, once you played it once, that's it, you're done. So you could always just give this to your local game cafe, which I'll probably do with mine, or sell them off for a tenner. It's still worth it. So yeah, they're cheap, they're cheerful, but they're not wowing me. So I'd say, on average, even though I didn't like the El Dorado one a lot, I think 6 out of 10 is probably relevant for these. All right. So as I've shown on the web browser there, we've got El Dorado, and I mentioned Heist in Venice. Wonder if there's any more images for this one that I can do without spoilers. Not really, because obviously you don't want spoilers, but basically... here's something that's not really a spoiler. You get characters in it. So you get to use characters, and they give you help for various clues, and it's in a different language. Good, so this isn't really spoiling much. But with these characters, you get to do various things with them, like, oh, this character knows a bit about how to do this puzzle, etc. So let's say the heist is better, but I still don't think these Deckscape games are all that, shall we say. Right, let's have a little sip of coffee. Lully. A bit more, although it's getting a bit cold. Right, so to finish up this episode, I want to talk about 2 games that I have played recently from the UK Games Expo. Now, I have to admit, I don't get very excited about virtual conventions anymore. I like a virtual convention like the GridCon one, where you just meet up and play games. That's fine, but these ones like the Gen Con one and the Expo one, Virtually Expo they called it, where they just put on a bunch of exhibitor videos and a weird online shopping mall or something, and I'm not as big a fan of them. I just did not get excited for Virtually Expo this year. I was much more excited to go to the convention because I want the atmosphere. I want to be able to say, yay, I get to go to this place and, see people, meet people, talk to people, see the game in person, not on a video, talk to people, not just engage in a live stream. It's not the same. So I wasn't really thinking of doing anything for Virtually Expo. But then I got contacted by Czech Game Editions, who said, do you want to help out with a couple of streams on Paul Grogan's Gaming Rules channel? So it's like, oh yeah, because, fair play to Paul, lovely bloke, but he never asked me to go on his streams. I don't know why, but how dare you, Paul? But yeah, so I thought, yeah, great, I get to actually go on a couple of his games finally. Sweet. And these were for 2 games that I've never played. They're both from Czech Game Edition, CGE, and one was Under Falling Skies, and the other one was Lost Ruins of Arnak, or Lost City of Arnak. And I went on the 2 streams. He did multiple streams for each game. Basically, usual format. Paul teaches it, we play, we're on Tabletop Simulator for Lost Ruins, and for Under Falling Skies, he just has a camera on his table because it's a solo game. But I just want to talk about my experiences with both games and see what I think of them on first impressions. And we're going to start off with, I think, Under Falling Skies. So let's bring that up on this screen. So this one, Czech Game Editions, Under Falling Skies. So there's no sound on this, so don't worry, you're not going to hear anything going on there, and to be honest, you're not going to see much in the way of movement. But we're on the stream, and also I would say go watch 1 or 2 of these streams, find out more about these games. But if you want to watch the ones where I'm specifically in them, don't ask me why you would, but fair enough, then look for Under Falling Skies tutorial and playthrough for Virtually Expo Game 4. Okay, that's the specific one that I was in. and we'll go on to Arnak later. But this is the one where myself and Andy Lewis from Polyhedron Collider team up and to beat this down. And as you can see, it's kind of like a Space Invaders type game. It's like Space Invaders mixed with Independence Day. So we have our dice at the bottom, where we get to, dice placement spots, where it's basically a dice placement solo game. We've got this map of the air, which is above our base, which we chose Roswell because, well, why not? We were basically doing Independence Day quotes. And there's the mothership up there. And the idea is that turn by turn, this mothership creeps down and these spaceships come down, almost like Space Invader style, and they come to bomb your base. Now, you only have so much health that the base can take. If it takes too much damage, you lose. If the mothership gets all the way down to the bottom, you lose. So it's kind of like that, all these things. And what you do is that you have to get your research all the way to the top of this track. By researching, you get to research how to stop the aliens, and then you basically stop them. It's a bit anticlimactic, but whatever. And to do this, you have to use these locations. You place dice in the locations to generate power, to do research, to shoot down alien spaceships, and to move this little excavator token through the base, because at the start, you haven't uncovered all your base. So you have to spend dice in order to move the excavator to uncover better locations, which will allow you to progress through the game. It's pretty cool. And although, gotta admit, it's like, the thematicness of this is a little weird, because it's like you're getting bombed to, hell and back from this mothership, and yet you've got time for the excavator to go through and suddenly uncover all these other rooms that are all ready for you to do stuff. It's a little bit odd on the theme perspective, but, that aside, the theme is still pretty well represented by the fact that the spaceships are coming down and we got to beat them back, and it's a really nice little thinky solo game, because the idea is that you must place your dice in each of the columns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But when you put the dice in the column, it does whatever the value needs to do for shooting down stuff and that. So if it's research, the green ones, you generate research points. But each level of the research track has a different requirement. So you've got to be able to equal or exceed that. Generating power generates power, because you can't use most of these rooms without power, so you've got to generate that. But the early rooms have got like negative modifiers to the dice, so you need to put higher dice on them, whereas the later rooms you can generate more or put more dice in a room. So say this top research room costs 2 power and you can only put 1 dice in it. But if you get all the way to the bottom, it still only costs 2 power, but you can put 3 dice in it and combine them all for 1 big research term. But on top of that, you've also got the red rooms, which shoot down spaceships, and that works from this. And yes, I think this is, in fact, I'll scroll back a little bit so you can excuse. Basically, on the board with the mothership, when you put a die down, the spaceship in that column moves down that many spaces, and you can flip these boards over for varying levels of difficulty. And the idea is that when these spaceships move down, you're hoping that you can land them on these little explosion spaces with the number next to them. These are like the battling ones. What happens is that if a spaceship is on one of those spaces, then if you've got a die in a red room, like we're just about to do here, we've just put a 4 in that room and we've moved the spaceships down. Bear in mind, this is a prototype-y version, so it's sort of final art, but some components need a little upgrade. And it means that we can shoot down, and because we combined it with a 5, because this is a double room, we've got a fighting value of 9. And what we do with this is that we have 9 attack power, which means basically any of these spaces with an explosion we can do, because they're usually up to a value of 6, maybe 7 in that. So we can take down any ship we like. So then you resolve all the rooms after you've placed your die in order. And the way we're doing it here is that we're generating some power, we're sorting things out, yep, there we go, and now we're spending power, and now because these ships are sitting on those explosion spaces, who are basically taking control of the guns, are shooting down next to every ship. I mean, look at me, I just wiped out pretty much all but 1 ship in that range there. I mean, I was brilliant on the guns. What did I get Andy to do? I got him to basically sit on the excavator and dig, so he did a job. He got... he caused a couple of collapses, but otherwise he was fine with that. But no, we were a pretty well-oiled team. We did well. We used the dice to their fullest, and we kept the thing at bay. But it's a really nice little game because the mothership is creeping down. You're getting negative effects. You've got to keep up the excavation, but then you've got to not forget about research, because I started the game shooting down lots of ships. And I was making like ridiculous quotes. Like, you can see, I don't know if you can see it on OBS. You probably can't see it in detail, but there's me in the live chat saying, or as the good Reverend will say, why we're on this particular mission, we'll never know. But I do know here today that the Black Knights will emerge victorious once again. And if anybody remembers Independence Day, it's that cheesy line that the wingman who's basically just there to die, ends up saying. So I was making Independence Day quotes. And I spend most of the time with the mothership shooting. But, eventually I got to start researching. So, a little bit further on, the ships are coming down, they're getting a bit more aggressive. And, eventually we start researching. But then eventually we power through the research. We take a couple of hits to the base, which was annoying because I kept saying I was going to have a clean sheet. But sadly, not the case. And we managed to do it. So I forget where we got to. I think, where did we get to? Where's that last bit of research? I think at the end we're just talking about, here we go. So at the end we're just talking about the different difficulties, how much the game's going to be, what our thoughts were. So we give our first impressions. And overall, but as you can see, we're just about to win the game after taking a few hits, sacrificed a bit of damage to the base, but enough to get us through that research track. And I think this is a really cool solo game. I think, you could play this as a 2-player, as a team co-op easily enough. You got to discuss with each other and you do it, but doesn't take up much table space. As you can see, he's literally just doing this on his table, Jaffa Cake there for scale. And the game's going to be around the £25 to £30 mark, I suspect. And that may seem expensive, but you get... I think we used 3 bases, and you've got like the different boards above that you can flip for different difficulties. But I think they're going to put something like 20 bases in there, or a lot of bases. There's a lot of different starting bases you can have, and all the bases have got different setups for the rooms. So some, they've got different layouts, different power requirements, different number of rooms. Some allow you to build robots, which are like drones that can let you work on rooms. It's really cool. And I thought it was a really solid game. I had a good time with Andy playing this. I thought it was a fun stream. And I'm looking forward to this. So, I'll look forward to hopefully getting a review copy of that later on in the year. It's supposed to be late 2020. And I thought it was good. I think you should keep an eye out on this one if you are a solo game fan. Yeah, Paul gets to eat the Jaffa Cake and I don't. I find that a little bit harsh. I'm the one who shot down all the ships. All he had to do was just sit there and watch and roll dice. Come on, it's not fair. Where's my Jaffa Cake, eh? But yeah, really good little solo game. So that's that one. So let's move on to the next one I want to talk about, which is Lost Ruins of Arnak. And I knew nothing about this game going in. I thought, like, what? So we explore an island and find resources to discover lost ruins. Okay, this sounds like a cool thematic game. I don't recognize the designer, Elwin Min. But Czech game editions do some pretty good thematic stuff now and again. But it has been a while since I've really gone mad for a Czech game edition game. It's a CGE game. It's been a while because I don't have many on my shelf. In fact, do I have a single Czech game edition game on my shelf? Oh yes, I have Pulsar 2849. And that's it. Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, I got through the ages on the app, but yeah, a lot of the other games I kind of like, but don't go mad for. Obviously, everyone goes mad for Mage Knight. I can't stand it. So I've been waiting for CGE to come out on their own. So I thought I'd jump into this one. So if you want to find out more about this particular game, then go find Gaming Rule Paul Grogan's video, Lost Ruins of Arnak Tutorial and Playthrough for Virtually Expo Game 2. Find that one. That's the one where myself and Fiona from the Game Shelf do a 2-player head-to-head, being taught by Paul how to do Lost Ruins of Arnak. So what's this one? Well, this is a worker placement game where it's kind of a bit of mix. It's a mix of worker placement and deck building. You are explorers, you're setting up an expedition, and you are going to find the ruins of Arnak. But you start off at the back, so you've got to start off at the early tiers and then move your way up. You can also advance up a research track and get bonuses, and obviously you're learning, you're doing stuff. But all the while, you can also buy these cards to go into your little mini deck, which, let's see if I can find somewhere on my player board, so because we're scrolling around a bit. Here we go. So on your player board, you've got this small deck, and it's literally only, I think, about 6 cards or something at the start. It's like pretty small. And you've got some tokens you've got to collect. You've got companions that you can get that give you special bonuses if you research far enough. And the idea is that you can buy more cards and add to your deck. But there's some really cool aspects to there, because that sounds pretty generic. It's like, all right, we've seen this all before. But hear me out on this one. And yes, Farmer Giles is my Discord name. And yes, I have a cuddly, look at that cuddly bear. It's my avatar. Look at this. Oh, it's a cuddly little bear. He just wants to give you a hug. I love bears. But yeah, so you've got all this stuff, and you play the cards in order to generate the various resources that you need. So compass, gold, tablets, arrowheads, rubies. And you play the cards, trigger their cool effects. They've got icons on them for traveling. So you need like airplanes and jeeps and that. So they're multi-use cards. So they've got multiple uses, which I really like. But one cool twist I really liked with this, and I mean, generally it's like you've got 2 workers, you put them out, you get resources, you've got a book and a magnifying glass on the research track, you spend resources to level them up, getting bonuses along the way. So you've got to try and be efficient and create combos, which is really cool. The theme is strong. You into Tomb Raider or Indiana Jones or any of that kind of thing, this is definitely one for you. I mean, we were making references all the time. There's, like that belongs in a museum and various other bits. And, Fiona's having a good time. I'm just getting sucked into the theme and just making jokes. I mean, I was enjoying this one. And, you can see me in the chat having a big laugh because I do like to interact with even Paul Grogan's chat. I hope he doesn't mind me doing that. But there were some pretty funny moments. But first of all, let me just talk about this twist I was on about with the cards. All right, well, I'll try and explain while I'm trying to find it. Basically, the cards at the top, the tableau where you buy them from, they are split into 2 types. You've got the items and you've got the artifact cards. You notice there's some blue and there's some beige ones up there. But the idea is that as the game goes through, you only play, I think, 5 rounds. And as the rounds progress, the round marker moves, and the way that the tableau refills up is that the left-hand side fills up with artifact cards. So here we go, right? Oh, God, get rid of that bow thing. Here we go, yeah. So this marker here dictates the round marker. So we're in round 5 at this point. So all the cards to the left are these artifact cards that all cost compasses. They give you victory points, so you could literally spend most of the game just buying a ton of cards for points. And they give you cool effects. But if you want to trigger them again, you have to pay artifacts to pay the cost of them when they come out of your deck. But they're pretty cool effects. And they usually have good travel symbols. But anything to the right of the marker is items. So when you start the game, you have a lot of items, but not many artifacts. But as you progress through the game, it reverses so that you get more artifacts and less items. They're all both useful, though, but the requirements change, and you've got to adapt. I just found that really cool. But on top of that, you notice here there is a guardian at this place. The idea being that when you go and inspect these various sites, you get some cool bonuses, and unlock, another worker space, but you have to deal with the guardian at that location. And when your worker is there, if you don't deal with the guardian, then you take fear cards, which are negative VP cards that go in your deck. But if you have the resources and the cards to deal with the guardian, you can get some more victory points. So you could literally make half your game just go out and hunt guardians, which would be pretty cool. And it's just really cool. I mean, the artwork on these is really nice. It's really nice, colorful artwork. In fact, a lot of these pictures of the various sites, Paul says, are actually the reason for it. So whether they are from history or whether they tell a story, I don't know. But apparently we'll find out more when the game is released. So we'll see on that. And as you can see on the track here, you get to the very top of the research track, you can unlock even more bonuses. You get these little artifact pieces here, which can go on your player board to give you like a kind of like a temporary bonus. So you put them on these little spots here, and you can do that. You can either get more points by not putting them on the spots, or you do that. So there's a lot of cool little bits and pieces in this game, but I just found it so thematic for what it was. Something with deck building managed to be thematic, but I love the way that you had multiple ways to play it. Do you go out and inspect all the sites to get points and stuff? Cool. Do you go mad on the research and try and up to the max on those tracks? Great, you've only got 5 rounds. You can't do everything. Do you build your deck to be like a trimmed down version of a deck that you can do all the time? Or do you, because you can trash cards to an extent in this, or do you build up a deck full of high point cards and just try and draw it all out each time? But I was loving the theme of this. I mean, Fiona was mainly trying to gear up for research and the various sites. So I had a good time with that. But that was fine. It was working for her, actually. And I thought she was going to actually cakewalk me. I thought, like, oh, yeah, I'm going to lose this like mad. I think when we got to the end of the game, I think I literally won by a point. No, I didn't win. No, I didn't win. We drew. I got exactly the same score as her, and we just settled on a tie. We didn't even care about tiebreakers, because I don't care about tiebreakers. If you draw, you draw. It was like, good game, shake hand. But I thought I was going to get wasted. I thought, oh my God, you've got all those points for research and all that. How am I going to do this? Turned out that the points I was getting was from killing more Guardians, but also from my deck having a lot of decent cards in it. Whereas, you know, Fiona wasn't building up her deck that much. She was relying on good research bonuses and the sites to get her stuff. Whereas, you know, efficiency from there. Whereas I was trying to build a deck that was like a well-oiled machine, and that's where I was getting my points from. And we managed to equal on points doing very different strategies, and I found that really good as an end result. But the funny bit I just want to mention here, I mean, where did this happen? Because this is an embarrassing situation. The Guardians that set up, this one over here, she got Fire Ants at 1, and I was joking like, oh, Fire Ants, come on, oh, your Kingdom of the Crystal Skull in it, how dare you. But the thing with this was that there was I'll see if I play it from here, is that the site, when you get the Guardian, I think the Guardian appears a little bit later, but when you get there, the tabletop simulator we were playing, because it was a like prototype-ish setup, for me, there was a 3-second delay on the picture showing up. So it appears all blocky from my perspective, whereas for everybody else, I think it was a bit more instant. And we were saying like, right, we're going to get a nasty critter here. And I was like, please don't be a spider. Please don't be a spider. Please don't be a spider. Because I'm arachnophobic. I don't like it. And the funny thing is that I went to the site. I wonder if I can find the actual bit, because it was quite hilarious. Because I literally brought it on me. I brought it on myself. So that was the Simpsons guy. So oh, I did this to myself. So, here we go. So I go to a site, and there's my site. So I've just gone here, and we zoom in, and all's good. So it's like, oh, I get a compass and an arrowhead as a bonus. Happy days. But then I have to fight the Guardian, and I'm constantly saying, like, no spider, no spider, no spider. But then he puts the Guardian out, and bear in mind, I get the blocky thing. I get the legs, and then boom, King of the Spiders. Right, it's like King of the Spiders appears. It's like, and he's laughing there, and I'm like, It's like, oh, no, I don't want that thing. And so it just like, it was hilarious, because I basically just sort of went, no spider, no spider, no spider. And somebody in the chat said he summoned it like Beetlejuice. And it's like, yeah, I pretty much did the whole Beetlejuice scene of like, you know, no spider, no spider, no spider, yeah, spider. It's like, oh, I hated it. Didn't like the picture. I felt like, ugh. So I made it my mission to kill it that turn. It was like, I am killing this spider. It's going down. I'm getting the points. How am I going to do it? With my trusty wristwatch, my fishing rod, and I managed to kill it, but I was joking around that Fiona was getting stuff that was useful for an expedition, like a shovel, a trowel, and stuff like that. They had cool abilities, and binoculars. She's just about to play them here, which I found a bit amusing, because basically she can look at a site that she's not at and get the bonuses. So I joked for the fact that it's like, hang on a minute, so you're looking over, seeing this massive spider with me getting mullered by it, and you're not helping, you're just literally looking. Well, I'm so pleased for your help, Fiona, thank you. But, oh, good laughs. But the thing is, with my deck, I was buying all the weird stuff and joking about how useful it would be. I mean, it'll probably take me too long to find specific... I mean, I bought an airplane. That's pretty useful, surely. But there was just some weird times. You might have even seen one earlier where I bought a fishing rod. So I bought a fishing rod because it's like, well, while I'm out on the expeditions, I need something to entertain myself with. So I basically kitted myself out as the rich explorer who gets other people to do the work for him while he sits back in the lap of luxury and does nothing. So the first thing I buy is like an expensive wristwatch that gets you a lot of money in the turn. But this was like, can't go around, can't do a good job without flashing your watch around the place. And then I got like a fishing rod, so I could do fishing, because apparently that was needed. My assistant there has a little pug dog. So I was like, oh, what kind of... Oh, there's my fishing rod there. Yeah, so I've played the fishing rod. It's got a cool ability, but I'm like buying the weirdest tools for any expedition force and just joking about it. I had such a blast with this game. I could just get immersed in the theme, act like a child half the time, and just really go at it. And the fact that we finished on a draw is just crazy. But by the end, I had so many cards. I mean, this is just what I played in a turn. All these artifacts and everything, and that's where I got my points from. It was just really, really, really good. I loved it. Loved it. This game was excellent. I mean, if I was to give ratings for both, I think both of them are easily deserving of a 9 out of 10 on first impressions. It's possible they could go up to a 10 with more plays, but or even go down, who knows. But certainly my first impressions of both these games are very positive. So check out Game 2 for Arnak and Game 4 for Under Falling Skies. You want to find out more about this game, both these games, and catch me being an idiot on some of them. So, Paul Grogan will no doubt appreciate the extra coverage. I won't get royalties for this, don't worry. But, hopefully he'll appreciate it. And, if you show support by looking at his 2 videos, leave a comment, say like, Luke showed me this on his podcast and I wanted to view it for myself, say hi, maybe he'll get me on more of his streams, so we'll try and coax him into it and find a way. But yeah, this was really good. I cannot wait for this game to come out fully. And again, I think that's the end of this year. And that's one thing I will say about CGE. CGE have previously not gone mad for me. No, that's the wrong phrase. I've not been mad on a lot of CGE games lately. They've come out with stuff and I've been like, yeah, that's fine. Letter Jam, yeah, that's fine. This one, yeah, that's fine. But I've never been wowed as much, apart from Pulsar 2849, and that one shouldn't even wow me. It's weird. But these two, wow. These are 2 fantastic games. And it's not because, I drew in one and we won the other. No, I highly enjoyed playing these. Now, maybe there's an element of I'm on a stream, I'm with friends and having a good time and just being a bit of an idiot. Maybe that played into it. So, these are first impressions. But I think these 2 games are going to be really solid. This could be the year for CGE. I'm not joking with this. I've waited a long time for CGE and a few other publishers to come on, pull it out of the bag, get your act together, really give us games that we're going to talk about for ages. And for a while, I don't think CGE has been doing that. But these 2 games, they could be some of the best, considering 2020 has barely released anything of any good at the moment. 2020 has been one of the worst years for board gaming at the moment. Granted, a lot of that was due to COVID, but still. But we're starting to get some interesting stuff released over the next few months. So hopefully the next 4 months of the year, we can pull it out of the bag and really get some good games. But that means I'm going to have to try and play everything in 4 months, which is going to be harsh. But I don't want my top 10 of the year to be like, well, there's these 5 really good games and then these 2 that are rubbish. It's like, not going to work. But yeah, CGE, good on you, mate. Under Falling Skies and Lost Ruins of Arnak. Check these out. Find out more. Consider getting them for yourself when they do come out. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if they've got anything else coming out this year. I don't think they do, but this is solid. I think that this could be the year for CGE, and fair play to them if they do. So yeah, that is the CGE play. So that is my experience with the Virtually Games Expo. Again, I just don't really go mad for it, and I'm not a big virtual convention fan. I look forward to playing face-to-face with all of you, and I'm already doing that at my Dice Cafe. The last month, I've been playing extended times at local game cafe Dice Portsmouth because of the government scheme, which meant that we got 50% off our food when eating in. So I've milked that for all it's worth. Unfortunately, it ends tomorrow. Dice Cafe is not open tomorrow, but friends of mine are going out for a curry to milk that government scheme for what it's worth on the last day. But yeah, sadly, no more of that at Dice. But I'm still going to be there every Wednesday playing in my game club as normal, and I've got all these games to try. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. This Wednesday, I'm expecting more people to turn up, actually, and there's going to be at least 6 of us. So 5 or 6 of us, so I think I might want to get a small World of Warcraft out again. I've been enjoying it. I've already recorded a review of it, so I've already given it some plays, and I'm not going to spoil what I think of it. But yeah, I think I'll bring it to the club again because I think they'll enjoy that. Actually, 5 or 6 players. But yeah, wow, 50 minutes. This podcast went on a bit longer than I thought. Well, that's me in the nutshell, innit? I just don't know when to stop. Well, I'm going to stop now. So yeah. Thank you for that. Like I say, check out those 2 videos if you like it. Check out the rest of my content on my channel, the folded space inserts, the top 100 BGG streams, the reviews that I'm going to put out soon. Please check them out, like them, share them, talk about them on Facebook, Twitter, get them out there, get the exposure. Hope you've been enjoying the promotions that I've been doing on the end of my videos where I've been talking about different channels. I hope you've been liking those because they've been appreciative. I've seen some subscriber boosts with them, and I'm glad for that. So that's pretty cool. And there'll hopefully be some more stuff soon. Trying to think if there's anything else to mention, really. Oh, yeah. Forgot to mention, thank you to, I think it was called the Shelf Clutter, who shared a giveaway hashtag treat your shelf. Quackalope started it. It went to Shelf Clutter, and then it got passed to me on one of his videos. I think I made a big deal of it on my Facebook and Twitter page. Thank you again for that. My subscribers, I think I ended up with an extra 200 and something subscribers as a result of that hashtag. So it was a nice boost to get on the channel lately, because it had been pretty stagnant for a while. And hopefully I'll get a chance to pass the torch on. I'm in discussions with Asmodee to try and get a giveaway copy of a board game. I don't know what game yet, but basically something to give away in a competition. And I hope to pass that treat yourself hashtag on to some channels that I think you should consider subscribing to. So that will be pretty good. But I'm still waiting for word back on what game to give away, because I currently don't have anything at the moment to give away. And to be honest, this is a bit lame to give away, just a copy of Deckscape. But yeah, hopefully we'll have something on that soon. On top of that, is there anything else I can think of? Not to my knowledge. Anything I can think of? No. Oh, yes. Yes, important. I've entered a partnership with ZATU Games from the UK. Now, I say partnership. This is basically, they have given me a code, a coupon code to use with their website. And with this coupon code, if you go to their checkout and you go on to add a coupon or whatever it is, use this code, it will give you 5% off what you purchase, and there is no minimum spend. You don't have to spend £50. You don't have to buy free games to qualify. You just use the checkout code and it will work. So let's see if I can very quickly find the code for you so that you are aware of it. TB Meeple 5. So TB MEEPLE 5. Type that into the checkout when you get there, and you will find you get 5% off. And I'm going to put this in the description of my videos going forward. I've even put a few in there already. I may do a promotional video for it, a proper video where I do a bit of advertising for it. Now, this is not dependent on me reviewing games for them and saying, oh, this is good. I'm getting some, compensation for this, for, getting some cheaper games from them, but I already buy a few games from ZATU, so that's nothing new. But, this is not going to influence, me saying, oh, ZATU is the best board game website out there and stuff. You know what I'm like. I say you should visit whoever you fancy. ZATU is a good game site, but there are lots of other board game sites available. Other sites are available, and I just urge you to think of who gives you the best service, who gives you good prices, who gives you a good selection on board games, and make your purchasing decision by that. But maybe this will help you if you decide to shop with ZATU Games. You'll get a little bit of an extra bonus out of it. So that's it for that. So yeah, I'm going to wrap up this podcast now and move on and get this one edited and uploaded. I mean, 53 minutes, this is already pretty long, but then I'm doing this every 2 weeks now, so I guess I owe you a longer podcast at that time. So take care, have fun, my voice is going, coffee's getting cold, I need dinner, need to go to the gym, need to edit. Oh my god, so much to do. Hopefully you're having a good time out there though. Thank you for supporting the channel, and I'll see you on the next podcast. And remember, as always, it's only a game. Take care, love you all, bye bye.